I was wrong in doing what I did.
No, no! No! Are you listening?
Sean here. Thank God Lorne doesn't have the understanding or access to the internet that we all have. Now, all of us, we have, what is DSP called? Detractors. You have people, you'll be in the comments section, and inevitably, one of a few people will always, slip a jab in or something. I don't know him, don't really care about him, I'm just making a point. And see, Lorne's issue would be, I was told at a very young age, lions do not care about the laughter of sheep. And when I started training jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, when I was 16 and a half, really started training around 17, like really got heavy into it. That's one of the mottos they had up on the wall. Lions do not, John Jones even said it years later, lions do not care about the laughter of sheep. But Lorne wouldn't get that because he's the sheep. And he's got a bunch of hungry lions, the Lorne RV community, who would love nothing more than to devour his defense, not him, but his defense, his excuses, take all of that away and just leave him for who he is. I've been going back and catching up on Eel Rear streams and listening to him go from 0 to 8 billion on the rage scale at the exact same moments I do. It's always therapeutic. And almost always it's when Lorne doesn't understand what probation is for, why he's on the registry, what the registry is for, what he's really going to class for, and everything else. And he's just missing the point. And I think he really believes it. At first I thought maybe he understood that what he's saying is wrong, but in reality I don't think he does. And Lorne on the internet, we would have people like me, Cornbill, you skip all that. You already had Reborn, you had Blue Boy, Ember, Ramona, Dan. All of these people were trying to help him, even though the Winnie saga was insane. Lorne, wake up, man. This is you. We're giving you the female version of you. We're giving you good advice. We're telling you shouldn't be on the internet. You shouldn't be talking to me. You aren't ready for a relationship. You're abusive. You're immature. You had Will come on as the voice of reason. Now, if I had somebody... Will, I don't really know who he is in real life, but the way he would talk reminds me of my best friend. He's the guy I can vent to. He's the guy that can vent to me. And I don't have to talk to anybody else and let them receive any of that, because we trust and we respect each other. And Lorne's problem is, without class, without counselors, without therapists, without probation officers, he has nothing. He's not special. He can't talk about himself to anyone. He can lie there all he wants. But when the only person he has to talk to is Casey, Blue Boy, he was still trying to reach out to Jamie. And Casey is hitting him with truth bomb after truth bomb after truth, just like sledgehammer to the head. Dude, trying to explain to him that you're already planning to have a house when we're not even together. I didn't even know you. It's so terrifying that this has become normal for him. And I'm mentioning all this because on the internet, the first person who, because let's be real, there are people in this community that would just immediately go for the jugular to try to catfish him themselves. I just know it. We got some really creative people in this community, and they would use it. And Lorne would probably pick up on 1 out of 10 that it was a catfish, but really it seems like all it does is it takes a picture and some kind words, maybe a phone call and a female voice, a robot in Jamie's case, and he would be okay. Because I even thought, what if we could sit him down? And I am getting back to the internet, but what if we could sit him down? Because we know talking over the internet to him is not going to fix anything. He is not going to be able to change, especially when it's just text. Because people behind the keyboard aren't always themselves. They may be venting collective frustration from a bunch of things that are bothering them. They may be venting just collective frustration, or whatever you want to call it. And Lorne, my God, this man, his entire world is collective frustration. There wouldn't be a healthy interaction with anyone on the internet if we took someone like Babsby, who I respect a lot, and I think would fit into that matriarchal role. I'd never wish this upon her. But put her in a room with Lorne with bullet points, counterpoints, documentation, everything. And tried to talk to him the way that she could, because she's definitely a strong person. Have her slip into that mom role and try to work it out with him. I think she would walk out and there would be a body left on the floor by the time she did. Because I don't even think she could not get frustrated. Because I know we all do. And then I thought, well, what if we sent like a witch in there? A woman who legitimately looked like one of the Wicked Witch of the West. I still don't think it would work. And I think maybe the only potential success would be to have, you know how kids, when you hold a doll and you're talking as the doll, they're right in your face almost. They're looking at the doll while you're speaking, because those words coming out of the doll are much funnier and much more entertaining than when they're coming out of your mouth. That's something you learn as a dad early. I can still make my son laugh now. I'm behind the couch with a little puppet up there just saying the dumbest things. Because it's funny, man. It's something we can all relate to. Sexual harassment, panda. If we could put somebody, a mannequin in the room with a speaker on its chest and have it be a female in a closed room with no windows, not the two-way windows, with a closed room. Lorne would be talking to the speaker on the mannequin. No one could see him. No one could hear him except for the person, and he'd still lie. Lorne probably lies into the air every day. No one's listening, and he'd lie to no one. I don't think there's a scenario where I could put, you couldn't put Cornville in there. Oh, it's his accent. It's his accent. He sounds like Jamie. It's his accent. You church caught. Could put Winnie's boyfriend / I would say Winnie's boyfriend / husband. Church caught. Got the name, church caught. Smart people. Even Will, who again speaks like my best friend. You listen to those people who are trying to rationalize with you and speak calmly. You want to try to pull some value out of there, but Lorne can't do that, man. He cannot pull it out of there, so there is no way. If you can't get Lorne to open up to a dummy, I don't know if maybe he would. You know what, let me back up. Maybe he would. If a female puppet with one hand inside of it, he could only see the bottom of the puppet and up, was to start talking to him. Hi, Lorne. Maybe that would work, because it's abstract and absurd. Maybe he would feel like he wasn't really admitting anything, because that thing that he's admitting to isn't real. Maybe, just maybe, maybe that's how you pull it out of him. You can't have it be a real person. He'd have, how they use like dolls for certain things that happen, and kids have to, it's easier to demonstrate with the doll. Or I've seen one session, man, where a child was talking about being abused, not sexually, but physically. And they used a doll to hit the other doll. And it crushed me. It broke my heart. But I don't think that child would have ever opened up to the counselor, therapist, whoever, had it not been for some kind of visual aid. I don't think Lorne could even do that. I think he's the kind of kid who would come in with mud all over his face, mud all over his legs and his shoes, mud in his pants, probably pooped his pants, and his mom would go, Lorne, have you been outside playing and did you poop your pants? Because it stinks. Nope, nope, nope. Wouldn't me. Lorne, you're covered in mud. Oh, that happened right before I came in here. I slipped. That's what we're dealing with. So imagine Lorne getting on the internet. This is what would be dangerous. If Lorne discovered on the internet that you could look up a bunch of like WebMD or whatever other resource he could find and discover all of these syndromes and everything and apply them to himself. Because when he starts talking about the therapist and the counselor and how they've uncovered all of these things in his childhood that made him try to go have sex with a 13-year-old, that also had him speaking to other underage girls before that. I mean, he's lied about that for so long. And when he says, well, that was a couple years ago, only 2 years ago, I was interested in kids. What? Come on, man. But anyway, his ability to just take everything that he wants to hear and apply it to things they don't need to be applied to. So frustrating. So let's take somebody smart like Dan Jones. Dan has said some really profound things in the chat. You could take Shen's koala as well. You take two smart people like that, and you have them try to go back and forth with Lorne with no emotion, trying to reason with him. I think Shins would end up choking him unconscious in 3 seconds in real life, because he'd just be like, I can't reach this guy. Best thing to do, just take him out, take him down to the police station, throw him in a jail, leave him in there forever. Yeah, I'll come bail him out. And then never go bail him out. Anyway, but you get two smart guys like that, and you have them just to the point chats with him, where they're listening to what he says, and then they give a response like they usually do in the live chats that I'm in. And you just have them go back and forth and back and forth. I don't think they're going to get anywhere. I think even the smartest people would fail to get through, because the thing about the internet and Lorne is he can just click off that video and go to the next one. He could just stop reading that forum post and go to the next one. He's not equipped to defend himself. And in all honesty, he's going to incriminate himself at some point. And he may not have done what he's incriminated, but he's so moronic that he might say something, like word something in a way that would just look terrible. And the reason Lorne has to be concerned about that is, if you're a liar, a proven liar, and you say something that sounds like a lie, even though it's the truth, I think of Goonies with Chunk. Yeah, like the time Michael Jackson used the bathroom in your house. Well, Michael Jackson didn't, but his sister did. Just a habitual liar, even if he's telling the truth, it sounds like a lie. So Lorne would eventually incriminate himself. He would just go full unleashed fury, responding to everything, responding to everyone he could, talking about his innocence and his false, talking about all this stuff, not understanding that he's just doing more damage. And the one thing that our man should do is stay away from anyone he doesn't know or doesn't meet in person. But I assure you, someone would find a way to meet him in person and start the catfish that way. Meet him at a gas station. This is all you have to do. Let's keep it real. All you'd have to do is meet him at a gas station, say hi to him. Hey, here's my number. You should call me sometime, and then leave. I'm in town for the day. I've only got about 10 minutes here. I said, oh yeah, nice to meet you. Oh, I think I recognize your name. You're kind of famous, aren't you? Here's my phone number. Call me. I get back to Washington 3 days from now. And there you go. It wouldn't take much. That's how gullible he is. That's how moronic he is. He would give people money. We've seen it before. He falls for scams. He falls for everything. The internet is so dangerous for him because he thinks he's smart. And there are, hundreds of millions of people out there smarter than he is. And any one of them on any given day could essentially just take everything that he has left, and he wouldn't even see it coming. I got robbed by a little old lady in a motorized cart, and I didn't even see it coming, because he is Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber, although Lloyd is smarter. Lloyd is smarter. And I think, again, if Lorne is dumb, and if he knew he was dumb, that would help him greatly. He would be able to defend himself. He would know his weaknesses and try to fortify him, but no, not with Lorne. Because as I said before, you could tell Lorne, storm is coming, he'd put his windows down. He wouldn't ask if it was a hurricane or a tornado or anything. He'd just do what he always does, puts the windows down. So when you talk to him, he's going to do what he always does. He's going to lie. He's got one mode, and he's got one step that he always takes. And there's never a secondary step or follow-up. There's no planning. I think I said it before, he's a guy, he thinks he's playing you in chess, but in reality, he's got one piece on his own board, and he's just moving it, and it reaches the other side, and that's as far as it'll ever go. 8 squares, or whatever it is. That's as far as it'll ever go. And I think in his life, he's only moved 8 squares. You can't take a guy who's moved only 8 squares in his life and put him on a 3D chessboard, aka the internet, because there are too many distractions, too many things that can make him dangerous. Lorne, he learns one fact and he thinks he's God. I know all about this. You don't know anything about this. He'd go on there and find that one story about a woman who probation screwed over, and that would be what he went to over and over again. Well, there was this one story, like I said, about, this woman smoked and she lived to be 200 or something. You know what I mean. I've thought about it. I think I mentioned, I don't even remember, this is like the 90th take for this video. I think I mentioned earlier that I will be in Cornville in 2024. There'll probably be a few people with me. I have a few people, 2 people I know of that have agreed that they would speak on camera. But if I can't get anything substantial, if somebody could find out about Sherry, God bless, that would be awesome. I'd love to get Paula on video and then have Lorne watch the video. My God, that would be wonderful. But what I'm saying is, I, like a moron, would be one of those people who would think, I can get through to Lorne. And in actuality, all I would be doing is helping him further his delusion. If I won't believe it, he'll eventually find somebody who'll believe it. And that's what the internet would be, going from one person to one person. Somebody would troll him, and it would go on for years. Lorne, you're the best. I think it was Blue Boy mentioned that people actually came over and socialized with him. Think about that. Think about how, I made a video on it. Think about how insane that is. No one should be socializing with this guy, but on the internet, you can do it without having any repercussions. You can just cut off all contact with him. Say whatever you want. I don't know if Lorne would save, screenshots. He doesn't know much about computers, but he knows how to save a chat log, damn it. Spank bank. And he'd probably know how to take screenshots. I also worry because Lorne came up with that bullcrap story about Xavier von Erck, and this is why we know he's lying, that perverted justice, after his 30 days of disgusting chat with what he thought was a 13-year-old, took the time to put CP on his computer. And he said, I just can't get it out of my head. And I think we know why you can't get it out of your head. And I think we know it didn't come from perverted justice. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that's a lot of our opinions, if not all. I even thought, how cool would it be to get perverted justice? To be in a video talking about why some people can't let them go, why they just can't let it go, why they blame them. And to have them actually talk about the process. It's been so long now that they could come out and comfortably talk about some things that happened and the process, because they're no longer in business. I mean, as far as I know, they're no longer doing this. Talk about some of the problems they had, the issues they had, and then talk about Lorne, because he was one of the longest, if not, in my opinion, the most disgusting. I doubt it. There's others that are worse than that. But Jungle Mania, get them on camera talking about it. Why did I bring them up? Because you could sit Lorne down right in front of Xavier Von Arc. You could have him show Lorne, look, this is what I've been doing. I didn't even remember you until they brought me here, and I'm not Bacon Boy. I'm not whatever else, Raptor's a legend, but I'm not Bacon Boy. I'm not this. I'm not that. He wouldn't hear it. You're just saying that. Lorne, here's my job. This is what I've been doing. You could sit him down with a budget, as I've talked about before, millions of dollars just to do what he thinks is being done, this evil mastermind controlling all these women to keep Lorne in probation. God. He wouldn't reach out to them. He wouldn't reach out. I mean, we know what he called Chris. He probably still thinks that people answer rotary phones. I don't know. But he might reach out to all these people. And, of course, we know, as you see on social media and things like that, people go crazy. They just absolutely go mental. And Lorne is unhinged as it is. I do think that Lorne would start drinking again, especially if he got on the internet and things became overwhelming, because all it takes for an alcoholic to start drinking again is an excuse. I got on the internet, Your Honor. They let me back on the internet. It was just too much for me. It's the only way I could cope. I don't need to go back to jail. Mr. Armstrong, we said if you ever drank again, you're going away for a long time. I know, but it's the damn internet, man. It costs me a world of hurt. It bothers me so much. He shouldn't be on the internet. Ever. At all. And I don't think the smart people in our community. I mean, the Catfish women and Will and Dan and all these people who put all this time in to try to, tell him truths. And he didn't get it. I'm not sure what else can be done. I mean, that was basically the role play scenario. Shutter Island, where they put him through all that to try to, get him out of whatever it was he was in. I mean, that's what they did with Lorne. They gave him a Catfish Shutter Island, the TSA and everything. He didn't come out the other side knowing what was right or wrong. It didn't help him at all. It only strengthened his resolve to say it wasn't my fault. I did nothing wrong. I did absolutely everything right. I just think him getting on the internet would be a disaster. I rambled for a long time, I know, but I haven't put out a lot of videos. So, I love you guys. I'll talk to you in the next one.
Why?